leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant,
we're back in.
Blazed into view.
I'm back in the fucking building! Okay.
A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
Okay, that's what the... Oh god, we're gonna freeze out here. Well, Rollo is. Maybe Beck. I've got my sweater on. That was intense? Yeah. I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it's going on any of us. Didn't feel like we traveled that far. So where did it all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out here? One way to find out, I suppose. Gotta catch up with Nuncreed. He went this way. Say hi to Dad. He doesn't know he's saying hi to Dad, but he's saying hi to Dad. This looks familiar, yeah. We can clear off the snow. No time, Nuncreed's getting away. Go on, let me clear off the snow! I know what this is! I know what this is. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed on all things Beacon Pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. I got it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien. Rollo, stick with me here. The species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. Found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back there. The final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into a Beacon Pines citizen of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. Get used to it. We should keep moving. Oh, we know what's going on. We know.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild. Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this entire town. Oh, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran? What's happening? That's not your grandmother. That's your mom. She's old now. Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How can I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish, his voice hardened.
That's not
They
true.
both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind
Please
howled
don't
with
make us
encouragement.
read all of this. Oh god, we have to read all this shit. Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to affect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to line your pockets. Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other,
Jesus
both catching their
Christ.
breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge.
Uh-oh.
Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luca's mind,
I mean, Ignite is definitely one of the
the
things that we
wind
can do here.
calmed, as if to give him the stage. And in the stillness, he began to weep.
I don't think that's the right answer, but we're gonna try it.
It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luca whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This will all make sense soon, Luca. Yeah, she has no sympathy. And everything can go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll see where their loyalties will fall. Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea,
Yep.
Gran
Gran doomed
flung
us all.
the torch into the deep darkness. She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
You see, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing to.
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence.
Too late, Gran. Too late. You fucked up. Yep, that was the wrong choice.
Only had time to spin around and run to Luca. Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror, there was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant. That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end. Well, that was dire.
Yeah, very dire. Very dire.
On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from. Now, we
knew
just
that
need
already,
to
though,
find a
babe.
way to deal
We
with
knew
a
that.
mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
We need to hum.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca
Hopefully
had
this
trouble
is
sleeping.
the solution.
Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud. Gran lowered the torch, listening
Oh, thank God.
closely.
Put the torch down, Gran.
As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note.
I don't care about any of this. This is very heartwarming, but are we done? Are we done?
Luca lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
Yeah, because Gran is my mom. How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo? Only people who call it that are my dad and my... Your mother!
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly. He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother.
I mean...
Only smaller,
yeah, okay.
older, changed.
Mom? That's right, buckaroo! Mom!
Luca sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor? I thought you were... gone. You should have known I would never abandon my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd have pieced it together by now. You're exposed. I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Oh god, I have to use her voice more. I'm so tired of using her voice. Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luca. Why did you lie to me? You tore me up, Luca, but I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. But the more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Till perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luca. They won't stop until they get what they want. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. What do we do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. This is too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own.
Oh, thank God. I'm going to take that as a cue to be like, not use her voice anymore. No more lies. I see now there's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold hard truth.
Luca gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everyone. We've got a party to crash. Don't have to use grandma voice anymore. You don't understand. He always wins. It's the little boy. Solomon is
Chapter
sharper.
9. The devil you know. 7 months ago, Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering. No turning back now.
Oh, are they bothering you, Miss Winifred? Are they bothering you? I'm sorry, little princess. I'm sorry. Oh, hi. Hi. You coming to Papa to protect you? You coming to Papa to protect you? Yeah, we're coming back to Papa. Coming back to Papa. Okay. Good girl. Good girl. She's a good girl. Hi, Ray. Hi. You protecting Winifred, or are you the one bothering her? Oh, your Papa's home? Oh, I bet he's looking after Miss Reese's upstairs, though. Oh. Weenie. Look at this girl. Look at this little Void. Look at this Void getting her chin rubbed. Oh, and her belly rubbed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, chin and belly rubs. Yeah, we like this. We like getting Papa's attention.
She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door bust open with mechanical efficiency.
Hi, yeah, you're a good girl.
She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant.
Oh, she's clean now. She's clean.
It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers.
She's got a primordial pouch here to rub. Yeah. Yeah, she's a good girl. She's a good girl. Are we Miss Winifred? Yes, we're a good girl. We're a good girl. Yeah. She's a good girl. She's such a good little kitty cat. She's such a good little kitty cat. Just getting attention and loves. Yeah. Happy girl.
They were experiment reports on something called Tempest Liquamen. There were dozens of them. Every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
Uh-oh.